Have you ever noticed that your legs are the silent soldiers of your life? For decades, they've carried you through countless paths, long work days, family outings, and even those gentle strolls around the neighborhood. But here's the irony. After 60, just when you finally have the time to enjoy life, those very same legs can slowly begin to feel like a burden. At first, it's just a slight heaviness when you get up from a chair. Then, climbing the stairs, you realize you're holding on to the railing more than before. Some days, even a short walk to the store leaves your calves aching, or worse, sudden nighttime cramps jolt you awake. And you may think, well, I guess this is just part of getting older. But the truth is, it isn't. Persistent leg fatigue, shakiness, or cramps aren't just old age. Research from leading medical schools in the U.S. has revealed something deeper. Nutrient deficiencies are often the hidden culprit. Without the right building blocks, muscles begin to shrink, joints lose their stability, and motor nerves slow down. When your body is starved of what it truly needs, your legs simply can't support you, and the risks of falls, fractures, and losing independence rise alarmingly. The good news is this can be changed. By replenishing your body with the exact nutrients it's been craving, your legs can gradually regain their strength, flexibility, and endurance. You'll notice it becomes easier to stand, your steps feel steadier, and most importantly, you'll preserve your freedom. The freedom to walk, to move, and to enjoy your golden years on your own terms.
In today's video, I'll share with you the 6 key nutrients that science has proven can restore leg strength for people over 60. These nutrients aren't exotic. You'll find them in everyday meals, but if you're not paying attention, you might be missing out on them without even realizing it. So let's begin with the first nutrient, the silent hero of your muscles and nerves, magnesium. When people think about strong legs, most immediately think of protein or calcium. But there's another, often overlooked nutrient that acts like the power switch for your muscles. That nutrient is magnesium. Your body needs it to keep every muscle fiber contracting and relaxing smoothly. Without it, the nerve signals traveling to your muscles become disrupted. The result? Sudden nighttime cramps, stiffness when stepping out of bed in the morning, or that shaky, fatigued feeling after even a short walk. Magnesium actually plays a role in more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body, but the effects older adults notice most are in the muscles and nervous system. When your magnesium levels are steady, your muscles contract firmly when you stand and release smoothly when you sit. But when magnesium runs low, every movement feels awkward and out of rhythm. That's why so many people over 60 wake up with heavy legs, blaming age, when in fact the real reason could be a lack of this vital mineral. A report from the National Institutes of Health found that more than half of adults over 60 have magnesium levels below the recommended amount.
There are 3 main reasons. First, digestion becomes less efficient after 60, making it harder to absorb magnesium from food. Second, many common medications such as diuretics, acid-reducing drugs, and diabetes treatments unintentionally flush magnesium out through urine. And finally, a diet high in processed foods, which are naturally low in magnesium, widens the gap even further. I still remember Don, a 68-year-old man living in Florida. He shared that every night his calves cramped so badly that sometimes he had to jump out of bed and pace around the house. His sleep was broken, and the next morning his whole body felt exhausted. When he finally saw a doctor, the tests revealed he was low in magnesium. Simply by adding more magnesium-rich foods like spinach, almonds, and oatmeal into his meals, along with a low-dose supplement in the evening, Don noticed a difference within just a few weeks. The cramps disappeared, his sleep grew deeper, and his legs felt far more flexible in the mornings. The good news is that magnesium is found in many familiar foods. A bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, a handful of almonds as a snack, or a serving of spinach with dinner can all make a meaningful difference. And if you still struggle to get enough magnesium through food, your doctor may recommend a supplement of about 250 to 350 milligrams per day. The best time to take it is in the evening, since magnesium not only relaxes the muscles, but also calms the nervous system, making it easier to drift into a deep sleep.
Of course, for those with kidney disease or on certain medications, magnesium supplements should only be used under medical guidance. But for most older adults, it's a simple, safe change that can deliver fast results. Nutrient number 2, vitamin D. When people think of vitamin D, they usually think about bone health. But the truth is, vitamin D is also a light switch for your muscles. It doesn't just help calcium bind to bones, it also activates muscle fibers so they can function properly. Without enough vitamin D, your legs don't just weaken because of brittle bones, but also because your muscles lose their quick, responsive strength and agility. After age 60, vitamin D deficiency becomes extremely common. There are several reasons for this. The skin no longer produces as much vitamin D from sunlight as it did when you were younger. Spending more time indoors, especially in areas with long winters, makes the problem even worse. On top of that, the body's ability to absorb vitamin D from food decreases, and many people eat little fatty fish or fortified foods. The result is that even with what seems like a normal diet, blood levels of vitamin D often remain too low. Low vitamin D can show up through symptoms that seem minor at first: aching calves, weakness when standing up, or an unsteady gait. But over time, it increases the risk of falls, osteoporosis, and hip fractures, one of the most serious events in older age, often stealing away independence in daily life. A Harvard study found that older adults with sufficient vitamin D in their blood had up to a 30% lower risk of falling compared to those who were deficient.
This shows that the benefits go beyond strong bones. They also include the coordination between nerves and muscles. In other words, vitamin D acts like a bridge between the brain and the legs, helping you maintain balance and react quickly while moving. I remember Harold, a 74-year-old man from Minnesota. He shared that every time he tried to get up from the couch, his legs felt like lead, taking several seconds before he could walk. When he was tested, his vitamin D levels were found to be very low, especially during the winter months. Harold began taking vitamin D supplements under his doctor's guidance and spent a few minutes each morning sitting by the window to catch sunlight. Within just 2 months, he said his legs felt awake again. He could stand up faster and walk with much more stability. To maintain healthy vitamin D levels, adults over 60 are generally advised to aim for about 800 to 2,000 IU per day, depending on blood test results and their doctor's guidance. Foods rich in vitamin D, such as salmon, mackerel, egg yolks, and fortified milk, should also be part of the daily diet. But since it's difficult to reach the recommended levels through food alone, supplements are often the safest and most effective option. The key is to check your blood level of vitamin D, called 25-OHD, to know exactly where you stand and how much you need. This isn't about the more the better, because taking too much can also be harmful. Think of vitamin D as a light switch. When it's bright enough, both muscles and bones work in harmony. But if the switch is off, your legs quickly become weak and unstable, making falls far more likely. Nutrient number 3, potassium. If magnesium is the on-off switch for muscle contraction, potassium is the current that keeps the rhythm going. Every time you lift your leg or step down a staircase, millions of nerve signals fire in an instant. Those signals rely on potassium to work properly. Without enough, your legs become sluggish, prone to cramps, and lose their natural agility. Potassium also keeps the body's fluid balance stable. It helps regulate sodium and keeps blood pressure under control. When potassium is low, not only do your muscles weaken, But your blood vessels also constrict, slowing circulation and creating that heavy feeling in the legs. This is why so many older adults complain of nighttime cramps, cold feet, or aching calves even after short walks. After 60, the risk of potassium deficiency is higher than you might think. Many older adults take diuretics to control blood pressure or heart disease, and those very medications flush potassium out through urine. On top of that, the sense of thirst declines with age, so many people don't drink enough water, which disrupts electrolyte balance. Diets low in fruits and vegetables and high in processed foods only make the problem worse. Sandra, age 71, is a clear example. She shared that her legs were often cramped after dinner, sometimes so badly she had to sit up and massage them for an hour. When her doctor checked, he found her potassium was low due to diuretics. After adjusting her diet, adding half an avocado to breakfast, a bowl of lentils at lunch, and staying hydrated, Sandra noticed a dramatic difference within weeks.
The cramps almost disappeared, and she could enjoy walks around her neighborhood without fearing her legs would betray her. The good news is potassium-rich foods are very familiar and easy to include in daily meals. A banana at breakfast not only keeps you fuller longer, but also adds a solid dose of potassium. Potatoes, spinach, oranges, lentils, and avocados are all excellent sources. And if you enjoy smoothies, a simple blend of banana, spinach, and a little yogurt is both delicious and packed with potassium, plus other key nutrients. But here's an important point. Not everyone should increase potassium freely. For those on heart medications or with kidney problems, too much potassium can be harmful. That's why before changing your diet or using supplements, it's always best to talk with your doctor for personalized guidance. Nutrient number 4, vitamin B12. If magnesium and potassium keep your muscles contracting smoothly, then vitamin B12 acts like the insulation for your nervous system. Your body has thousands of nerves carrying signals from your brain down to your legs. These nerves are wrapped in a protective layer called myelin, and B12 is essential for building and maintaining that layer. When B12 is lacking, the myelin begins to thin, and nerve signals traveling to your legs become disrupted. The result is tingling, numbness, or that prickly pins and needles sensation in your calves or feet. Many older adults also notice their gait becoming unsteady, balance harder to maintain, or slower reflexes when stepping off a curb or avoiding obstacles.
If the deficiency continues for too long, it can lead to real muscle weakness and even falls. The problem is that after 60, the risk of B12 deficiency rises sharply. It's not just about diet, it's also about absorption. Older stomachs often produce less stomach acid, yet acid is needed to free B12 from food. On top of that, many common medications, like metformin for diabetes or acid-reducing drugs, quietly drain B12 from the body. This means that even if you're eating eggs, fish, or meat, your body may not be absorbing enough. James, a 76-year-old man from Texas, is a good example. He often felt tingling in his feet and sometimes walked so unsteadily that he had to hold on to the wall. At first, he assumed it was just age, but when his blood work came back, his doctor discovered his B12 levels were dangerously low. James was prescribed sublingual, that's under the tongue, B12 supplements and added eggs and milk to his breakfast. Within 2 months, he said his legs no longer felt strange. The numbness eased significantly, and he was able to walk around his neighborhood with renewed confidence. To prevent deficiency, adults over 60 should have their blood levels of B12 checked regularly. If they're low, doctors may recommend sublingual tablets or even direct injections for better absorption. Foods rich in B12 include salmon, tuna, eggs, milk, and lean meats. For those who are strictly vegetarian, fortified foods or supplements are almost essential.
The key is, don't wait until your legs lose feeling before taking action. B12 deficiency often starts quietly, with nothing more than fatigue, slight tingling in the toes, or clumsiness while walking. But if detected early and corrected in time, the nervous system can recover and your legs can remain steady and responsive. Nutrient number 5, protein. For older adults, protein is the foundation of independence. Your legs, from the calf muscles that lift you out of a chair to the thigh muscles that help you balance, are built primarily from protein. Without enough, the body slowly begins eating away at its own muscle tissue, leaving your legs weaker without you even realizing it, until suddenly standing becomes difficult or a fall takes you by surprise. After 60, the body experiences something called anabolic resistance. This means that even if you eat the same amount of protein as before, your muscles don't respond as strongly to build and repair themselves as they did when you were younger. At age 30, one protein-rich meal was enough to trigger muscle growth, but at 65, your body needs more, both in quantity and quality, to get the same effect. That's why many nutrition experts recommend older adults aim for about 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, higher than the amount typically suggested for younger people. Another key point is to spread protein intake evenly throughout the day. Many older Americans start the morning with just a pastry or a slice of toast, have a light lunch, and then pile all their protein into dinner.
But this doesn't work well because the body can only use a certain amount of protein at one time. If you miss the chance to fuel your muscles at breakfast and lunch, your legs go undernourished for most of the day. Now imagine instead giving your legs steady protein fuel in the morning, at midday, and again at night. The difference in strength and function can be dramatic. Eleanor, a 70-year-old woman from California, is living proof. She often complained that getting up from her sofa was getting harder. She needed to push herself up with her arms. After meeting with a nutritionist, she was advised to raise her daily protein from about 30 grams to nearly 80 grams, spread evenly across 3 meals. At breakfast, she added Greek yogurt and almonds. At lunch, tuna with a lentil salad. And at dinner, grilled chicken with quinoa. After just 6 weeks, Eleanor noticed a striking change. She could rise from her chair more easily, walk longer without sore knees, and even felt more upbeat. Protein doesn't just come from meat or fish. Plant-based sources like lentils, quinoa, chia seeds, and tofu are also highly nutritious when combined properly. The key is to choose high-quality proteins rich in leucine, an amino acid considered the switch that activates muscle building. Leucine is abundant in whey protein, eggs, milk, fish, and chicken. These are foods that are easy to find and easy to add to daily meals. And if you struggle to eat enough, especially if appetite is low or chewing is difficult, a protein smoothie or a diluted whey shake can be a convenient solution.
It delivers concentrated nutrition, is easy to digest, and doesn't require much effort to consume. Protein truly is the foundation that keeps your legs strong. Without it, all other nutrients have a harder time doing their job. When you get enough protein every day, your body has the raw materials it needs to build, repair, and maintain muscle strength. And it's those strong muscles that help you stand tall, walk confidently, and enjoy your later years with precious independence. Nutrient number 6, calcium. If protein is the foundation of muscle, calcium is the bricks that build the skeleton. Without enough calcium, your legs are like a house without support beams, easily cracked by even a minor fall. After 60, the body absorbs calcium less efficiently, while bones steadily lose density. This is why older adults are so often affected by osteoporosis and hip fractures, events that can take away independence and completely change quality of life. It's important to remember that bones are not solid, lifeless blocks. They are living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding through a process called bone remodeling. When you're young, bone building outpaces bone breakdown. But after middle age, the breakdown begins to move faster. Without enough calcium, the rebuilding process slows, leaving bones thinner, weaker, and more fragile. A study published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that a deficiency in calcium combined with low vitamin D levels can double the risk of falls and fractures in adults over 65.
This isn't just theory, it's a painful reality for many families. A small slip in the bathroom or a stumble on a step can lead to a hip fracture, weeks in the hospital, and sometimes the loss of mobility altogether. Take the story of Margaret, a 73-year-old woman from Ohio. She was healthy and loved tending her flower garden. One day, she slipped and fell lightly, but that seemingly minor fall resulted in a hip fracture. Her doctor explained that her bone density was far too low due to years of calcium deficiency. After surgery and rehab, Margaret committed to changing her diet, adding milk, canned salmon with bones, almonds, and taking calcium supplements as directed. A year later, her bone density tests had improved, and she was back in her beloved garden. Natural sources of calcium are plentiful: milk and dairy products, sardines or canned salmon with bones, leafy greens like kale and spinach, and nuts and seeds such as almonds and sesame. For those who have trouble digesting milk, calcium-fortified products like plant-based milks or fortified orange juice are excellent alternatives. But what matters most is taking calcium the right way. Your body can't absorb too much at once. Experts recommend splitting doses into about 500 to 600 milligrams at a time, with a total of 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day for adults over 60. And don't forget, calcium needs its partner, vitamin D, to be absorbed effectively. Without vitamin D, no matter how much calcium you consume, it won't deliver its full benefits.
Another important reminder: don't overdo it. Too much calcium from supplements can cause kidney stones or even increase the risk of calcium buildup in blood vessels. That's why it's best to prioritize food sources first and only add supplements when truly necessary and under your doctor's advice. We've now completed an important journey, discovering the 6 key nutrients that help prevent leg weakness after 60. Magnesium keeps muscles contracting smoothly, ending those bothersome cramps. Vitamin D is like a light switch, activating both bones and muscles to keep every step steady. Potassium powers the electrical current that keeps nerves firing, reducing numbness and sluggishness. Vitamin B12 provides the insulation for your nerves, protecting balance and reflexes. Protein forms the foundation of strong muscles, giving you the strength to rise, walk, and live independently. And finally, calcium reinforces the skeleton, helping your legs withstand impacts and reducing the risk of fractures that can take away your freedom. The key now is action. Knowing isn't enough. Ask yourself, which of these 6 nutrients are you most likely missing? Are you eating enough greens to supply magnesium and potassium? Have you checked your blood vitamin D levels? Are you spreading protein evenly across all 3 meals, or just piling it into dinner? These small questions can lead to big changes, changes that help you walk with ease, move with confidence, and most importantly, preserve the independence that makes your later years truly yours.
I want to remind you, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 80, your body still has the ability to recover if you give it the right care. Begin with small, simple steps. Add a handful of almonds to your meals. Spend a few minutes in the morning sun. Include a banana with breakfast. Or ask your doctor about checking your vitamin B12 and vitamin D levels. These may seem like small changes, but with consistency, they can make a world of difference. Before we wrap up, I'd like you to do something for yourself. Leave a comment below and share which of these 6 nutrients you're already using or planning to add. Your story could inspire and motivate so many others who are watching. And if this video has been helpful, please hit the like button so I know you'd like more content like this. Finally, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every week, we share science-based, easy-to-follow health tips designed especially for adults over 60. These aren't just pieces of information. They're practical tools to help you live stronger, more independent, and happier every single day. Remember, your legs are the foundation of your freedom, and you have the power to protect that freedom, starting today simply by nourishing them the right way.